are two ways that we can remember things. That is short-term and long-term. And short-term is when you remember something that's happening right now. You see, short-term is about 20 to 30 seconds of your memory, and after that, if there is no events or episodes, you forget. But most of us forget the most mundane things, but long-term memory, that is referring to something that you continue to think about because it is considered unforgettable. You see, long-term memory is when something took place that you can put your finger on and you know exactly where you were, when it happened, you even know the station of the radio, you know the smell in the room when it took place because it has been etched in your mind. It is what we call an unforgettable moment. Does anybody in this room have any unforgettable moments? Has God done anything in anybody's life that is simply unforgettable? Has God opened any doors in your life that no matter what they ever do to you, you will never forget that one? It's funny because this guy told me at work that his mother has Alzheimer's and she can't remember his name nor his brother's or sister's name, but she can remember the old hymns that brought her through. See, it's something about the long-term memory. Yeah, I might forget about what you've done, but I surely ain't gonna forget about what God has done. Listen, unforgettable moments because I can remember that. Everybody remember what you was doing on 9/11? You can tell where you were, what was happening, how you saw it. Anybody remember what you were doing when you had your first child? I know the station of the TV. It was during March Madness, and I put it on a game hoping when Mayceo was born that something might click, but you know. And the doctor, he had on a Michigan bandana, and I had a problem because we OH. I know. And this things because it was in my long-term memory. I remember the day that anybody remember when Jesus saved your soul. See, when he saves you, that doesn't go into short term, but that goes into long term. Don't you remember when he pierced your heart and made you change on a dime? I remember it was July 1st, 1990 in Twinsburg, Ohio, in a little bitty church called Apostolic Church of Christ, now called Sanctuary of Praise. I was in the front row on the right side next to the door. And I remember something took place from when the word left the pastor's mouth and it hit my heart and God saved me and I have never been the same. It was simply unforgettable. I remember when Jesus healed my body. Anybody got an unforgettable healing in this place? Because I bit my mouth about 7 years ago and I had a lump in my mouth for about 3 years. And I went in for surgery. They cut it out, but they said, Mr. Smith, this looks like it may be cancer. So you know what we do when we hear the word cancer? We immediately say, choo, 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 choo. I remember praying and asking God. A month later, they called me in. And remember it like it was yesterday. It was 90 degrees outside when I walked in. And they told me we did some tests and it is absolutely nothing. Can anybody remember when God kept you over the dangerous highways and byways? I remember it was I-77 South off the Brecksfield exit, and I was in a 2004 Chevy Malibu with the radio on 850 AM, the Kenny Rhoda Show, WKNR, and I hit some black ice while I'm going 50 miles an hour, and as I began to spin in traffic, I saw cars coming directly onto me, but God turned the car totally around, and I kept on driving. Those is what we call unforgettable moments. Don't you remember when God made a way out of no way? Don't you remember when God blessed your money when it was running? Don't you remember when God saved your children? Don't you remember when God brought you out? If you remember anything, clap your hands. Don't you remember when he done some things that he shouldn't have done. It was the spring of 2003, and me and First Lady lost our first child. And 7 days later, I lost my $8 an hour job over something I didn't even do. So I went from an expectant, excited father to an unemployed, bereaved guy, all in 1 week. But 30 days later, I remember God blessed me with a job making $16 an hour, and I topped out at $30 an hour. So at 22, I made $18,500, but at 24, I made $62,100. Is there anybody in here that has a unforgettable? That's why when I call on Jesus, I'm not just saying a name, but that name has done something. You see, there's a few long-term songs that have been etched in my mind. Anybody remember some old church songs? I ain't talking about this new stuff, this stomp and all that shit. But is there anybody that can remember when you were sitting in church, not even wanting to be there, but an old mother would stand up in the back of the church and sing something and would do something to you? You see, you ain't even trying to be there, but something would happen and they would say, "You can't make me down here. You can't make me down here. You can't make me down here. All right. You can't make me down here. Because I'm all too much down here. You can't make me down here." See, it's unforgettable. I heard some Anybody got some long-term memory issues?